home recording fans. John Green on the scene, just about to talk about what's happening in here, because you know, I think the last video I posted was from a while back. That's what the studio looks like at the moment. It's not really well organized. I mean, you know, I've got guitars in cases. I'd like to have them hanging on the wall, easy access. Don't have everything I need, but that's not what the video is about. Alright, what I'm going to talk about today, I just want to have a little chat because people who've known me the longest know that I'm a real analog fan and a big fan of the you know, classic analog instruments and, you know, analog effects and things like that. I definitely am. The reason I like analog effects and things like that is because I can get in there, you know, do a bit of solder work or whatever, fix an old machine, have it working, or even improve it. I can't do anything like that with a digital thing because digital is, you know, it's the realm of science. It's the realm of people who really know what they're talking about. And digital has been something I've been avoiding maybe my whole life. I've always worked with analog stuff all the way back to I was thinking about it today, the very first thing I remember looping or trying to loop was a sample from Eazy-E from NWA on cassette tape, on a double cassette tape, and looping an offensive expression over and over so it lasts about a minute. And I thought that was hilarious. You know, I worked on radio where we literally looped and cut and spliced 2-track tape and made loops on those 2-track tapes. Sorry, those 4-track cassette tapes that could make loops. And I mean, you know, physically, I've really loved having a reel-to-reel recorder. And a reel-to-reel recorder is not really necessary. If you want to buy one for effects, it doesn't have to work properly, it just has to move. I've had tape players before which had something wrong with the rubbers, because the rubbers start to stretch over time. And if you have an original tape recorder, it's from the 70s probably, so it's over 40 years old, which means the rubber in it has probably gone soft. If you replace the rubbers in most of these machines, they work just as good as they used to. But if you keep the old rubber in there, sometimes you get some interesting sort of problems with pace and wow and flutter happening. The tempo goes up and down and the echoes can sound kind of cool. But that's really just for effects. Now, if you're going to do effects, I wouldn't spend more than $100 or 100 euros on a reel-to-reel recorder. But if you wanted to buy a reel-to-reel recorder to master onto, you could also do that. But if you're going to do that, you're going to have to spend, I don't know, more than $100. Maybe 200 to 400 euros to get a decent reel-to-reel recorder. Even just stereo, it'll be a 4-track that you get. But a stereo recording of your work mastered down so that it's nicely compressed through the magnetic compression. Yeah, that's kind of cool. But you know, it's like 2020. And you know, at the start of the year, actually this year I think we have, yeah, at the start we have fasted 2 times. And while fasting for 7 days, I contemplated every day the future of my music. Because, you know, when I left Austria, I sold my mixer, I sold my sampler, which I'd had for a good long time, I sold my reel-to-reel recorders, I sold my effects pedals. I've almost sold everything. Almost. Not my PC, not my microphone, not my GoPros. But I've sold a lot of pedals in the last year. I don't know, maybe 20 pedals in the last year. I wasn't using all of them, but I mean, even the year before that, I must have sold 20 pedals as well. So I did have a lot of pedals. And although that's kind of a cool thing, and people might kind of dig on the analog vibe and, you know, having units outside of the PC, you know, like doorless jamming. Door meaning digital audio workspace. Being doorless means you can use all your boxes and not have to use a PC. But in the year 2020, you know, I'm thinking that might be more of a gimmick. And maybe I do want to use the PC. I'll admit, you know, when I was at college learning to do audio engineering, we used Cubase. Oh no, we used Logic because the universities all use Apple. When I was doing another course, we used Cubase. And you know, they were all kind of alright, and they all do basically the same job. You could use lots of different programs. And I got to a point where I thought, I don't like using a computer. I don't like staring at a screen instead of, you know, like touching stuff, you know, like hitting a drum, playing a key, you know, that kind of singing a song. Things that really feel creative. So, you know, like I sold my MIDI keyboard last week. I hadn't even used it. I bought it for $200. Sold it for $200, but I had a MIDI keyboard that I was planning to do all of this stuff with. I just didn't do anything. And I was wondering, why wouldn't I do that? You know, because everything needs to be digital now, and it needs to make sense. You know, like what I'm using. So I was looking online at this, excuse me, Roli or something. Roli. I'll try and put a picture on the screen here somewhere. Is one of these weird, hyper modern, you know, like multifaceted MIDI controllers that can do all kinds of wonderful and weird things. And while I was looking at this Roli thing that's like $1,000 for a MIDI controller, it does a lot of stuff. I won't argue about that. And it is very versatile, probably the most versatile MIDI controller in the world. Roli, I think that's how you pronounce it. But I'm not going to spend $1,000 for a MIDI controller. So I didn't really want to play the old-fashioned keyboard anymore. It just felt stiff, and yeah, maybe I'll be playing this as my MIDI keyboard. It's an actual electric keyboard that does a very, very good job. Maybe that's my electric keyboard now. I ordered... How long have I been talking? I don't know. I ordered the Roli Block Seaboard. Alright, so the Roli Block Seaboard is it's a MIDI keyboard, but instead of having separate keys that go click-clack, you know, as in like hammer action keys, it's one surface, and that one surface has raised elements, which are the keys, and grooves between the raised elements, which you can use to sort of slide the notes up and down. You can modulate, you can add effects, all kinds of cool stuff, really. So why am I telling you? It's because me, John Green, you know, I was always known as Old School Johnny back in Australia when I had my radio show. And being old school, I was always priding myself in being able to get the old soldering iron and whack together a speaker system or whatever. And, you know, it was the kind of thing you pride yourself on. And then, you know, I was teaching English in Europe for 15 years. So I didn't really learn a lot about electronic music. I mean, true, I still was playing around with my sampler and getting some reggae instrumentals out. But what about truly experimenting with music? You know, like not even thinking of a genre or a tempo and just having a feeling and wanting to just express yourself. I haven't done that for a long time. What I've been doing on YouTube is posting a lot of my old instrumentals, trying to get more interest going for the channel. There's about 1,400 subscribers at the moment. Oh, that's my other channel, my music channel. On this channel, I think there's like 65, 70 subscribers. Every one of you are important. But anyway, I'm going to get this Roli keyboard, and with the Roli keyboard I'm going to try to be a bit more expressive, a bit more experimental, and try to make music that I'm not that's not going to be within a strict genre. I would like to try to play the oboe, for example, on the Roli. I would like to play especially the double bass on the Roli, and cello. These are sorts of instruments that you could really get into with a MIDI controller like that. I was bidding on eBay, and I got one for a couple $100. It will arrive on Monday, and I won't do a demo that day because you'll probably just see me nervous and sweating and a bit pink from not knowing how to use it. But I'm hoping that straight out of the box as a MIDI controller, the Roli will be something worth giving a go. I've also purchased, and they will arrive at some point, the light pad block that goes with it. It's a MIDI controller also, and the transport block that does the looping and things like that. So I'm kind of going all digital. At the moment, I don't see the problem. I don't have money. So, why did I sell all my stuff? I got no money to spend. I'm on benefits here in Ireland. I'm just very, very lucky that I had a job when COVID hit, and because I had a job, which I lost, it's because of COVID, I am lucky enough to get some benefits from the government, and it's not much, but it's enough to stay at home, sort of keep selling off my music instruments one by one, and maybe go digital. So if I buy a Roli block, the C pad, the keyboard, the block part, which is the kind of cool XY controller thing that does multiple things, and the transport all as one, that's known as the Roli Song Maker Pack. Right, so the Song Maker Pack is those three things: the controller, the pad, the square one, and the Seaboard, all as one thing. They all magnetically stick together. I'm giving it a go. I've been a technophobe for ages. I love technology when it's old school, but I've never really delved deeply into this digital thing. Not only am I delving deep into digital Roli expressiveness, which I might not love, and it might backfire on me. I am what else am I doing? Oh yeah, I'm changing my digital audio workspace. I used to use Cubase when I first started doing music, and then after a long time, and my good mate Sean helped me out, helped get me a copy of Ableton for a reasonable price, and Ableton I've been using for the last year or two, but the thing is I haven't been doing any music for the last year, so maybe a year. Ableton I liked. Some of the stuff I found a little complicated at the beginning, but once you've realized you can toggle between two views, it's actually quite an enjoyable experience to use Ableton. But actually I'm also switching my DAW to, what the hell is it called? Bitwig. Alright, where's that Bitwig? Yeah, anyway. So I'm changing my DAW to Bitwig. Why? Because Bitwig is one of the few platforms which actually supports the Roli expressive MIDI controllers. None of the other big ones, like Logic, Ableton, whatever, you know, all of them, Cubase, have trouble recording all of the expression. So they can record the MIDI notes, but maybe not all of the expression. So you get a lot more control, and apparently it's easier to use when you're using these sort of 5D expressive MIDI controllers to use Bitwig. All right, I downloaded it yesterday. On Monday, I should receive at least one of these boxes, and I can plug it up to Bitwig, and I'll tell you what it's like. It looks like Ableton, but a little more color. So it's not grey, it's more like black and color. I'll talk about that later. But anyway, it's just another example of John Green is going digital. What can I say? I'm 45 years old. 45 past August. So to go digital now, I mean full-blown digital, MIDI controllers, software digital, multi-track recording and software, it's new to me. It's not new to use this stuff, so to speak, but I'm going to try and go 100%, because what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to try to make a lot of free music to share on YouTube. Free music, no idea what the genres are going to be yet, but some simple stuff with the Seaboard block, the light pad, you know, and make simple tunes that people could use on their vlogs or on their videos on YouTube, free to use, no copyright music. That's what I'm planning to do, because I'm stuck at home, you know, for months and months already. I'm doing a lot of YouTube, but now I want to do a lot of free music and sort of give people music that they can use for their own material. And if they have, if they're content creators, they could use the music in that case. Anyway, that's what I'm doing. If you wanted to leave a message down below, I would welcome any comments about what you're doing. I've completely changed what my attitude to music under quarantine. While I was fasting, I realized I had to go digital. I had to forget about the analog world, sell my analog stuff, and go digital. And I hope Roli Seaboard will help me do that. I might be making another video in a month telling you how much I hate the Roli Seaboard. That would be bad. But I'm going to keep my new DAW because I spent money on it. And that's called Bitwig. If anyone's got anything to comment about Bitwig, I'm curious. Or if you've got any comments about the Roli gear. I also ordered myself a Roli Seaboard 25 for Christmas. Don't tell anyone. Alright, so I hope the Roli thing works out. Alright, John Green has gone digital. I haven't got it yet. You can see here's my soldering station, which every serious analog guy has, a soldering station, replacement keycaps, whatever. Here's my video editing station. And this should be a musical kind of corner of the room. It should be. There's Bonesy, he's always keeping me company. Let me know if the beat has meat. Alright, and yeah, just some other gear. It's not really organized yet. Look, there's even beds. Alright, thanks for tuning in. I know it's been a long time since I actually spoke to you and talked to you about music, but I've been working on stuff in the garage. I've been trying to build a greenhouse. I've been trying to sort of keep the rain from coming into the granary. Put in a new floor. So I've been very, very busy. But anyway, I'm going to try to be a bit more regular, you know, like try and give you a video every few weeks and talk about the progress. Because now, I think going digital is the answer to just about everything. Everything, relationships, whatever you want. Go digital in 2021. I went digital in 2020, so I can remember what year it happened, and I was 45 years old. And maybe a year from now, you'll be seeing a different John Green who's making experimental, I don't know, tree hugger music or space music or who knows what, underwater music for fish. Thanks for tuning in. This is what is the studio today, and maybe you'll see something a little bit more exciting next time. Alright, John Green, right here, Sligo Town, Ireland. Thanks for tuning in. Leave a comment or subscribe if you like.